All right, let's get right into it. We are about to pull back the curtain on a massive, almost invisible cost that is absolutely crippling modern industry. We're talking about a problem so big it's measured in trillions of dollars. But the solution? Well, that feels like it's been pulled straight out of science fiction. So take a look at this number, $1.5 trillion. And no, that's not the GDP of a small country or the valuation of some new tech giant. That is the staggering amount of money the world's top companies lose every single year. Why? Simply because a machine somewhere on a factory floor stopped working when it wasn't supposed to.
To really let that sink in, think about it like this. For every dollar these companies make, 11 cents of it just disappears. Gone. It's a colossal financial leak that's happening every minute of every day, and it's happening right under our noses.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? When a high-speed production line suddenly goes quiet, it isn't peaceful. It's the sound of a cardiac arrest for the entire supply chain. Every single second of that silence is money just burning away. And the costs, well, they're almost unbelievable.
Okay, so let's dig into that trillion-dollar silence. Why is it so ridiculously expensive? And as we're about to see, this cost isn't spread evenly. Some industries bleed cash way, way faster than others. Now look at these numbers. This is where it gets crazy. We're talking about the cost per minute. In a semiconductor factory, where they make the chips for, everything, a tiny little power dip can cost nearly $60,000 every 60 seconds. In a car plant, over $38,000. Even a data center, the heart of our digital world, loses $9,000 a minute. The stakes are just immense. So you have to ask, right? If this problem is costing over $1 trillion, why is it still happening? Well, the simple answer is that most of the industrial world is still using a 20th century mindset to take care of 21st century machines. For decades, there have really only been two ways to do this. The first is what we call reactive, or more honestly, the run-it-till-it-breaks method. You just wait for the smoke, and then you scramble, paying 3 times the normal rate for emergency repairs. The other way is preventative, the old calendar method. You change a part every 6 months, whether it needs it or not. You end up throwing away perfectly good components and wasting a huge chunk of your team's time. Both of these are just incredibly inefficient. But now there is a third way. It's called predictive maintenance. And this isn't about guessing or just following a schedule. This is about knowing. We can now monitor machines in real time, use data to see a failure coming from miles away, and step in only when it's absolutely necessary. And the results? They're nothing short of transformative. We are talking about cutting that unplanned downtime in half, slashing maintenance costs by nearly a third, and making your multi-million-dollar equipment last up to 40% longer. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer. Okay, so all of this sounds incredible, right? Almost too good to be true. But how is it even possible? What kind of technology is giving us this crystal ball to see into a machine's future and stop a failure before it ever happens?
Well, the first piece of the puzzle is something called a digital twin. I want you to imagine creating a perfect virtual copy of a real physical engine, kind of like a digital ghost that lives up in the cloud. Every single vibration, every little temperature change, everything the real machine feels, its digital twin feels it too in real time.
But here's where the magic really happens. We can take this digital ghost and fast forward its life. We can simulate months of stress and wear and tear in just a few minutes to see exactly when and how it's going to fail in the real world. And these models, they're now getting up to 97% accurate. That's just wild. So having all this data is one thing, but being able to make sense of it all instantly is a whole different ballgame. And that's where the next incredible piece of this technology comes in, generative AI. And I promise you, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is happening today. A technician can walk up to a pump on the factory floor and just ask her headset, hey, why is the pressure dropping on pump 4? In seconds, the AI analyzes that digital twin data, cross-references it with decades of repair manuals, and just says, it's the O-ring. It's got about 48 hours left. Don't worry, I've already ordered the replacement part and scheduled the fix for Thursday's maintenance window. Wow. So, think about the journey we've been on. We went from fixing broken machines to predicting when they'll break. So what's the next logical step? Well, the next frontier is machines that don't just warn us, they actually start to fix themselves. We are now seeing the rise of what are called self-healing systems. For example, if an AI sees a motor is starting to overheat, it doesn't just send an alert. It will automatically slow the machine down just enough to prevent a burnout while it calls for help. We're also seeing these cobots, or collaborative robots, that can go into dangerous areas to do inspections and even make minor repairs completely on their own. So let's boil all of this down to the bottom line. Companies stuck in the past, they spend about 4 to 6% of their assets' value on repairs every single year. But those who are embracing this new predictive world, they're spending only 1.5%. You do that for a decade, and that's literally the difference between leading your market and going out of business.
But this incredible technological leap, it isn't just changing the factories. It's completely changing the jobs for the people inside those factories. And this revolution is creating a huge demand, a massive skill gap for a whole new kind of professional. See, the world doesn't just need mechanics anymore. It desperately needs reliability engineers who can design systems that are built to never fail in the first place. It needs IoT architects to build the sensor networks that give those digital twins their senses. And it needs industrial data scientists to train the AI that can see the future. These are the high-paying, in-demand careers of this new industrial age. And all of this brings us to one final really important question. Because this whole idea, this isn't just about factories and machines anymore. It's a mindset. In your own life, in your career, are you just waiting for things to break and then reacting? Or are you using the data you have to anticipate what's coming next? So you have to ask yourself, is your career reactive or is it predictive?